Hello everyone, welcome back to Cabin Vapers. So glad you can join me here for another episode as always. Today I kind of changed things around here, as you can see, get the full view. I got my computer down here to do viewer comments, videos, maybe some live updates, stuff like that. I have a nice little desk here so I can maybe, if I do rebuildables here real soon, I can work off this. And I'm still messing with my lighting, so bear with me with that. Hopefully it looks a little better. Please tell me how you think of it. You know, maybe I can add some other things in here. I like to get a mod stand so it kind of looks cool in the background, so all that good stuff. But one shout out is to all of you guys that commented on my video where I did the viewer comments. Now, I don't like to bring up negativity and people leaving bad feedback, you know. It's something that you're going to have no matter what you do. So I want to, so many of you guys have sent me such nice things, and I didn't get to read through all of them here, but I have all your comments here. You know, sorry to hear about your grandmother. Praise for you, man. I know it's tough. Just, it's so much that I appreciate, you know. The vapor community is so amazing. All of you guys are amazing. The guys that watch my videos, you know, I appreciate it, and I love to help. And you guys help me just as much as I can help you, you know. So, you know, all this is more than I could have ever asked for. And I want to thank all you guys for being such beautiful human beings. So, let's get to what today's video is actually all about. And it was from one of the viewer comments, which was Christian Nation, which I had noted on before. He was wanting me to do a beginner's vapors video. Some things he didn't know, and once you're first trying to get off cigarettes or just trying to get into vaping, it is really confusing. There's a lot to know, and there's some things you don't want to get tripped up on if you're looking to buy your first e-cigarette, or if you're talking to somebody about e-cigarettes, you want to be somewhat knowledgeable. But understand, you know, you're going to start off on your first lily pad, and it's going to take time to make your next steps to getting more advanced. You know, everybody has their first stepping stone, so hopefully I can give you enough information to get you from that first stepping stone to the second one. So I'm going to incorporate a couple of my stories from when I quit smoking and moved into vaping, and what my transition was like, what I found difficult, what I liked, and what questions I had. So hopefully this video is going to help all you new vapors out there. This is what I like doing. I like helping the people get off cigarettes and join the vaping community. We love to see more people join us, you know. So today's video, as I said, we're going to go over the beginning basics of vaping. So, one of the first questions I always seem to get is, what is an e-cigarette? And sometimes I have a little bit of a hard problem. I say it's a nicotine delivery device and all this other stuff, but I'm going to break it down to what the main components are. Now, you're going to have two main components of an electronic cigarette. Your first one being your battery here. Now, this is an Anokin iTaste MVP version 2. This is an internal battery which you just charge the whole unit itself. It charges, you control the watts and volts from here so you can regulate your power from this device. So basically all this does is it regulates power, and it gives off the power charge from this device. So this is your battery. And what the battery is supposed to do is to provide power to this right here, which is your atomizing tank, or clearomizers, atomizers, there's cartomizer tanks, there's other types of tanks out there, but they all basically work off the same functions of the silica wicks in here with the pre-manufactured silica wick and a wrapped Kanthal coil in there. So what this does is your juice sits inside your tank here. I will get to juice here in a second. It absorbs into your wicking. After absorbing into your wicking, you have your coils up there, which your wicks are already in, and once you screw this on to your battery here, it's going to pick up on your resistance of your coil. Now, resistance is measured by ohms. Ohms is just showing you how much heat resistance you have on your atomizing head. Now, the lower the ohms, the less resistance you're going to have. The higher the ohms, the higher the resistance you're going to have. So note that, so you're going to have to fluctuate the volts, watts, and I will get to that in a second. So as I said, this works off of wicks that absorb the juice. The wick juice going up into the coil, and as the coil heats up from the battery power here, it vaporizes the electronic juice in there, the e-juice in there, and vaporizes. So that's how the functions work of it. You get your battery power here, which is regulated to whatever you like if you have a variable voltage, variable wattage device, and then you have your tank, which makes the function of the vapor, basically. It's the best way I could describe it. So, battery power, your coil unit and wicking that absorbs the e-juice and vaporizes it. So, now there's different types of batteries I could get into. Now this one here, the MVP version 2, this is a variable voltage, variable wattage. And variable voltage and variable wattage let me get into volts and watts real quick. Volts, I like to describe it as driving a car. If you're in volts, you're driving your car, you're controlling the brake and the gas, and you're working it, fine-tuning it the way that you like to drive. Now, watts is more of like you're on the highway on cruise control, you like to just set it at a certain setting and just, keep going. The best way I could describe it, I use volts a lot, because I like to fine-tune my vapor since I use a rebuildable. You can rebuild the coils instead of have to purchase pre-made coils. Volts is good for if you know what type of vapor you like. You like to fine-tune the vape that comes out of it. It doesn't matter if it's an atomizer, a rebuildable atomizer like I have here, or if it's just one of your certain tanks. And as I said, watts, you set it at, let's say, 10 watts and a 2.1 ohm head, and it's going to control the volts and keep a consistent vape for you. Now, you do have voltage drops within devices and loss of battery power through, using it for a while. So with volts, you can increment up the voltage to maintain the perfect vape for you. So that's basically volts and watts. The next thing I'd like to get into is what is an e-juice. Now, I already have a video on what is e-juice, so if you haven't checked that out, please check it out. It's very informative, and I try to add some interesting things about what e-juice actually is. But I'm just going to cover the main components. You have 4 basic main components of your e-juice, which is PG, propylene glycol, VG, vegetable glycerin, a certain base of nicotine. Depending on how much nicotine you like, you can get stronger or weaker milligrams depending on what you like in your juice, and a flavoring. Could be anything from apple, blueberry, tobacco, coffee, anything. So that's what your e-juice is. It's not thousands of carcinogens like a cigarette. It's 4 main ingredients, and they're all organic substances. And another one. Here's one I had a problem with when I was first trying to buy my first e-cigarette. No. Oh, don't have it here. I was looking at the Ego C2. Since I had a lot of people tell me it's a variable voltage, not variable wattage, just variable voltage device. I call them stick mods because they're only about like 6 inches long. They're like a stick, and then you can change the voltage. Mine sadly broke at the here a couple days ago, so I had to retire them. But as I was saying here, battery power has to do with a lot of what you're going to be vaping on which device. Now, you're going to have different things called mAh, or milliamp hours, out of your batteries here. Now, as I was saying before, this isn't an internal battery. You charge the whole unit itself. After the unit dies, it will no longer take a charge. You have to recycle the whole thing itself. You can't salvage it. Now, with something like the iTaste VTR here, you got batteries that you put in here. These are high drain IMR 18650 batteries. You recharge these, and then you keep putting them back in the device. You don't charge the device itself, so you must have a charger for the batteries. Now, mAh, milliamp hours, is just saying how much vape time that you're going to get out of your battery. So my standard Ego battery, I had 1100 mAh in it, so that was about a day vape for me, maybe a day and a quarter, depending on how much I was vaping that day. The reason why I like the MVP version 2 is this is 2600 mAh, so this is like a full 2 days out of it. Depending if you're a moderate vapor to maybe a heavier vapor, it could last a shorter time for you, but still, tremendous battery power. My rechargeables are 2000 mAh, so mAh is just an explanation of how much battery capacity is in your device. So the higher number for your mAh, the more vape time you're going to get out of it. So hopefully that helped there. Now, as I said, there's different types of tanks and how they operate. You got Cardo tanks that you can punch. You have clearomizers. You got double coil top fed, double coil bottom fed. And the bottom fed or top fed just means that the wicks, this iClear 30 wicks to the top, which is a top coil. Where, my iClear 30B, B meaning bottom coil here, meaning that the coils are here at the bottom. Now, all that tells you is how it wicks, It really depends on what you like. But all the main functions of this works off of is just wicks, a coil, and your battery. So, if you guys have any other questions about basic beginners type questions, please let me know or email me at cabinvapers@gmail.com. I will always respond to you guys if you have any type of question. I can look you guys up and I can do a live chat sometime, or if you want me to do a certain other topic, I can definitely do that. Now, one thing I want to hint at, and I know I'm going to make a lot of you guys excited, I'm going to be doing my rebuildables here. It's probably my next video. I'm going to do my rebuildables in increments. So I might just do a rebuildable video just showing you what Kanthal I have, what I use to wrap my coils with, what type of wicking I use, how I go about the process. So I'll probably do a whole, all the things that I have and what it's going to take to rebuild a coil first. So I'll show you all that. And then the next day I'm going to actually rebuild a coil to a certain ohms resistance. I'm going to try to go for a 1.0. And then I'm just going to do specialty coils. That, like, if you ever watch Rib Trippers, he does a whole bunch of different crazy ones. So hopefully I can redo a couple of those coils. I think I'm going to vape out this last stretch here. Now, I got one last note, something that's entertaining for you guys, which is another giveaway. Since Central Vapers was so kind to send me some free e-juice, I thought, you know what, I'll share the generosity with you guys by sending probably one of the better flavors, I think. They're all amazing. They're all really good. After letting them steep for a while, the flavor has definitely come out. So, Central Vapers, great job on your e-juice. And I heard that they just made an e-juice because I mentioned it on my video, which is the root beer float. So they commented on one of my videos, so check it out. It sounds really good, to be honest with you. But as I was saying, I'm going to give away probably one of the better flavors, which is delicious, banana nut bread. And if you haven't tried it and you like banana nut bread, God, you're going to love this. This is at a 10 milliliter, my apologies, 6 milligrams of nicotine, 30 PG, 70 BG. So I will be giving this away. Now I'm going to wait until I give this away until I have 100 subscribers, just so I know I can be reaching out to more of you vapors out there, and I'm sharing the information and wealth and all the good stuff. So, one last vape before I go. Make sure you stay tuned for updates, more giveaways coming ahead. Make sure you subscribe, and as always, vape on.